Hello, I am Jen Herman with Jen's Trends, and tonight we're not talking social media per se. We are not talking strategies and tactics per se. Instead, tonight we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome because it's alive and well in pretty much all of us. So, having just wrapped up at Social Media Marketing World, where I witnessed this in full force from everybody, including yours truly, I decided to talk more about it and really kind of dive into this. So it's going to be an open conversation. We're just going to let the dialogue flow. It is not going to be my typical webinar style. I hope you enjoy it. And then we'll come back in a couple weeks and probably do something a little bit more tactical. But tonight we are going to go down this road. So while I said that, go ahead if you are watching this on the replay and jump ahead a couple minutes into the video. I'm going to go ahead and get us launched over here on Instagram. And then we always do our hellos and our chit chat and all the things. And if you don't want to watch that, feel free to jump ahead in the video. If you want to stay and watch all that, you are more than welcome to, because there are some fun things that tend to happen in the conversations and saying hi to everybody. If I can get things to go where I want them to go. Hair's crooked. It's fine. Like, sometimes you'd think I would do these things before I put the camera on, but no. Why would I come prepared? Why would I actually look at myself on camera before I go live? All right, here we go. It's going to happen. Oh, I didn't put a... Where's my title option? Hello, Instagrammers. I am Jenn Herman with Jen's Trends. We are live tonight talking about imposter syndrome. I'm live over on YouTube as well with people tuning in over there. My girl, Toronto dog walking Pam. Hello, sweetheart. How are you? And I've just noticed when I went live that my option to put a title is gone. So remember a few weeks, it was like, I don't know, it was a month ago, a few episodes back, and I had all the excitement because I was able to put a title on my video. It's gone. They took it away. Why do they like, these things are amazing. Why do they take them away from us? So anyways, don't have that anymore, which sucks. But anyways, Amelia, hello. Bree, hello, darling. So good to see you. Erin, good to see you as well. I'm going to go ahead and type in here since I don't have a title option. For those of you who did not see the notification and are just hanging out because you love me or are here by chance, tonight we're talking about imposter syndrome. Stop. Ugh. All right, post. We'll talk about imposter syndrome of trying to pin a comment on Instagram. Hey. We've got Michael is here, Bobby is here, Brenda is here, Monica, hello, good to see you as well. Eleanor, Susanna is here. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. So tonight we're talking about imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome in business, imposter syndrome in our industry. So here's the thing. I obviously, as you guys know, Social Media Marketing World was recently here in San Diego. I had the opening keynote recap video. I had stories galore, all the things. So there was a lot of conversations. There were a lot of meetings. There were a lot of events, all these things that go on during the week of Social Media Marketing World. And one of the things that I guess I noticed in prevalence, maybe because I was more trying to be aware of things this year. So I went into this year in a totally different mindset. Usually I go and I want to do the big parties and I want to do all the things and talk to all the people and be in all the biggest places. And this year I've had so much going on and I've been pulled in so many different directions that I really didn't want that kind of interaction. And I really wanted the small interactions. And so I did small dinners, small lunches, 5 people, 10 people, those sorts of things, rather than, the parties with 400 people. And so I went in with a much more intentional approach to small, small group settings, like much more personal networking and developing those relationships with people. And so maybe because of that, I was more consciously aware of something. Maybe I'm just more consciously aware of it because I just noticed it now. I don't know. But one of the things I noticed was the imposter syndrome. You guys, it is legit alive and well with everybody. Yours truly, 100%. People who I look up to, people who look up to me, my peers, everybody, we all suffer from this. And there's a lot of reasons, I think, why. And so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. We've got Brenda from Carlsbad. Hello. Robin, the artist. Hello, sweetheart. It was so good to see you. Timothy is here. Marta is here as well. So the whole idea kind of spurred to me from social media marketing world, seeing all these and having everybody kind of, oh, and Ken's here too. Good to see you, Ken. It's just seeing all these conversations and seeing how all these people were, doubting themselves and questioning themselves and comparing themselves to other people and watching all of this. I was like, wow, like we all do this and it's so self-sabotaging. So that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight is really that imposter syndrome, why we do it, how do we get past it. And I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a genius. I deal with imposter syndrome on my own. So I'm probably not the best person to tell you how to get over it, but I want to be real, raw, and honest about it. And just kind of, share that perspective with you guys and maybe help shed some light and we can all kind of have an open discussion about it. We've got I Am Donna Queen is here as well. We have the Silent Film Group. Seduction Lab is here. P-Day Pursuit. Hello, my girl, Stephanie Lou. Oh my God, it's Stephanie Lou. Is in the house. Hello, gorgeous. So random side note, for those of you who don't know Stephanie Lou, you need to know her. But she was obviously at Marketing World with us and she is hilarious. She will keep everybody laughing and entertained, to say the least. And she would literally yell from across the convention center. She'd be like, oh my God, it's Jenn Herman or whomever else. And it was hilarious. Like, it was like, everyone's like turning and staring and then I would yell back, oh my God, it's Stephanie Lou. And we just had the best time, you guys. It was super fun to be there with Steph in person. So if you're not following her, make sure you follow her because she's amazing. And she's just like a bundle of energy. Like if you think I can be high energy, like you have no idea. Stephanie takes it to a whole new level, like seriously. I Am Donna Queen said, woo, go on, girlfriend. Ken Watson said, Stephanie, haven't talked to you in ages. Oh my God, it's Ken. And Ken said as well, Stephanie is the bomb. Bree is laughing at us. Timberland Properties, hello. It's good to see you here as well. And Toronto Dog Walking said, Stephanie is amazing. She really is. Like, seriously, you see this girl on stage and Stephanie's kind of petite. Like she's tiny and she just has like this personality that is massive and she's got a voice that is massive and she's incredibly smart, incredibly talented. So if you've ever had the chance to see her on stage, you are blessed. If you have not had the chance to see her on stage, you got to figure out a way to make that happen. So on that note, MDMC, Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, is coming up in 2 weeks and all of us will be in St. Louis. I literally have 2 back-to-back trips. So I'm trying to keep everything straight in my own head. We will all be in St. Louis in 2 weeks. And so Stephanie will be there. Mike Alton will be there. And Amanda Robinson, all of us make up the 360 Marketing Squad. We will be there. So if you want to come hang out with us, if you haven't got tickets yet and you want to come join us in St. Louis, you totally need to be there because it's going to be amazing. There's so many other good speakers. It's going to be one amazing, fun week. So you definitely want to be there. All right, so, and Classic Legacy just joined us as well. Okay, so you guys, the whole imposter syndrome, what is imposter syndrome? Like, where does it come from? And I want to say, I guess, probably the best thing is kind of the fake it till you make it kind of mentality, which for the record is like my life motto. My whole life, I've like lived by fake it till you make it. Like you say yes and you figure it out as you go. Now there's some things I will say no to, but in general, like your client comes on board, you're like, yep, I can totally do that. And you just figure out how to do it. The fake it till you make it, that's kind of the imposter syndrome, right? So it's the idea that you are pretending to be somebody else, or you're pretending to be able to do something that you aren't able to do. And it's this, and it falls into another spectrum where it is essentially like a comparison, right? So you're always comparing yourself to everybody else and feeling like they're so much better and you don't belong in that same space. So it's kind of those two components of like how I define imposter syndrome. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to want to compare yourself to others. But I want to talk about why you probably shouldn't be comparing yourself to others. And so this is something that is what I saw a lot at social media marketing world. And it's a lot of comparison because you're surrounded by all these people. So first of all, I mean, talk about like imposter syndrome. You're a marketer surrounded by literally 5,000 other marketers. So inevitably, you're going to feel like a fraud. You're going to feel like you don't belong there. No matter how good you are at your job, no matter what you do, no matter how good you are for your clients or your company, no matter how many things you have learned, inevitably, you're not going to feel smart because you're going to be talking to people who are way smarter than you. Literally, this happens to me all the time. But here's the thing, you guys, and this is one of my favorite quotes. And I don't know who said it, but it's something I've learned to live my life by. And that quote is, if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. And that was pivotal for me a couple of years ago because I always wanted to be the smartest. I always wanted to know the most. I always wanted to feel like I was helping everybody else as much as I possibly could. And thinking about life from that perspective, where if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, it really puts things in perspective from that imposter syndrome and from that comparison syndrome where you want to compare yourself to everybody else. And by the way, you guys are hilarious. The comments are popping in. Evie showed up. Everyone is like, Evie is in the house. Thank God YouTube reminded her to show up because Instagram doesn't remind her. Love it all, you guys. But so the idea is like when you go to a conference with 5,000 other people, you are not going to be the smartest person in the room. You are not going to be the smartest person in that convention center. You are not going to be the smartest person in that city. It is impossible. Even the people who are the speakers who are on stage, they may be the smartest at one thing, but they are not the smartest at everything. And that is why I feel like I saw that, kind of comparison game in full force at social media marketing world, where it was like, and even from my perspective, I'm sitting here talking to these people and I'm like, I had no idea. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that was a feature. I didn't know that had rolled out. And I'm sitting here going, I don't know all of these things and I should know these things. And then you kind of have to like reel it back in and realize it's okay. Like we don't all need to know everything. And it's better to know the people who know the things than to be the person who knows all the things. So, for example, I have a new client that I just signed, and they want to do a lot of work with YouTube. Not the YouTube expert. Not me. Nope, not me. I can help them with a lot of other things. I am not the YouTube expert. But I know a lot of YouTube people. Not people that work at YouTube. I wish I knew them. But I know a lot of YouTube experts. I know people that do YouTube live streaming. I know people that do YouTube channels. I know people that do YouTube ads. I know people that do YouTube content. And I can reach out to them because they're in my network and I can have them help me help my clients. I'm literally going to pay these people to come in and talk to my clients with me to educate my clients because I am not the smartest person in the room when it comes to YouTube. And my client knew that up front. I was very open and honest with them about that, but I know the people. So rather than needing to make myself be the smartest person in the room, I know the smartest people in that room and I can bring them in and have them help me. And this all, I want to say, kind of ties into this imposter syndrome where, again, you feel like you are not necessarily on the same level. You feel like you are, you don't belong, like you're a fraud, but you have something to offer that they don't. And when you have those relationships and you bring those people together, you can actually be that much better as a team. And you may not work with those people every time, but you can work with them on occasion or as needed in whatever capacity that your business runs in. So another thing that came up at Social Media Marketing World, and so, by the way, we had a few more people pop in. You guys were talking imposter syndrome tonight in business. Virgix Help said, I love what you're saying. We have to be very humble. Absolutely. Loretta, hello, gorgeous. Good to see you here as well. And I am Donna Queen said, yes, 100%. Hashtag acceptance, hashtag interdependence. Yes. So Another thing that happened, and actually, Loretta, this actually happened at our dinner. But there was a conversation that was had about a bunch of people getting together and essentially opening the kimono, and a bunch of people that are my colleagues, my peers, and diving in to our business models and talking about how we make our money. And the person who asked me this is incredible. This person is way better than I am. This person, I don't know how much money he makes, but I guarantee you he's probably making more money than me. And he's somebody I've looked up to for years. Tanya, hello, girl. Alan is here as well. So when he said, would you be interested in doing this, where a bunch of us would get together and we would basically open up the kimono and we would all talk about, our business models, how we make our money, and help each other out. And of course, fake it till you make it. Yes, sign me up. I will be there 100%. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm going, what the hell are they going to learn from me? Like, the people he's talking about having come join this group are all people who are way more successful than me. And I had that full-blown imposter moment of saying, yes, pick me, fake it till you make it. But on the same turn going, what could I possibly offer to this conversation? And literally 5 minutes later at this same dinner, I'm talking about somebody else. And I'm talking about how this person needs to trust herself. And this person needs to have confidence in herself. And this person needs to understand her worth and how smart she is. And she needs to take ownership of that. And she's so incredibly successful and she has so much to offer. And another person at the table looked at me and said, and you're effing Jenn Herman. And you need to accept who you are and be. And I was like, okay. See how you flip that around on me? Like, I see it. I get it. And this is imposter syndrome at its finest. I'm literally telling somebody else or talking about somebody else about how they need to take ownership and how they need to be proud of themselves and how they need to stand up. And yet I'm sitting over here doing the exact same thing, being like, oh, why would they want to learn from me? I'm not good enough. So this is all very normal, you guys. This is legitimately something we all experience. Tanya is saying preach. Ask Evie says, sounds like someone talking about you. Yep. Stephanie Lou said, you're fucking Jenn Herman, all in capital letters. Yes, this is true. The Life and Style Executive has just joined us as well. I love you girls. And it is one of those things where I am Jenn Herman and there are people who look up to me. There's somebody who I just posted something over on my Instagram profile talking about, kind of a stage that I'm at in my business and the fact that I get to choose where I'm at right now and the events I get to go to. And I was talking about how I met Amy Porterfield and how she was just this icon to me. And this person responded and said, I'm his Amy Porterfield to him. And I was like, damn, like I did not see that one coming. And yes, Stephanie, she's got the tiaras, the crowns. I'm like, yes, give me the crowns. Just place them right here. But it was one of those things that it was like, sometimes we need that reminder, like, because we get so caught up in our own worlds. We get so caught up in our own businesses. We get so caught up in the people around us that we don't realize everything else that is going on with other people who see us differently. We're so busy comparing ourselves to the people that we look to, we don't realize what's going on around us. And that is, like I said, the kind of the epitome of this imposter syndrome. And I kind of want to open it up to you guys because I mean, I know there's not a ton of you watching tonight, but there's a bunch of you on here, all of whom I love. And I know a lot of you are full-blown imposter syndrome sufferers like me, but you all have something incredible to offer and you all have something that you can share with the world and you all have something where you're better than other people. And when it comes to like that comparison side of things, you guys, one of the challenges I think that we're all guilty of is in that comparison is we look at somebody else and go, wow, they've done all of that, or they've only done that. But no one else is walking in their shoes and nobody else is walking in your shoes. And I can look at my life and be like, wow, I've done so much in 6 years. And I can look at it and be like, wow, I've only done that in 6 years. But nobody else went through what I went through. Nobody else had to, I'm working a full-time job. I'm running a side business. I still have my full-time job. I went through a divorce. I'm raising my daughter. I had to find a schedule that worked for me. I chose to pursue speaking more so than actual paying clients. And I've had to evolve and change. And I made all those decisions. I made the sacrifices that I chose to make. Nobody else made those same sacrifices. So nobody can say that they should be further ahead or further behind than me because they had different life experiences and different life choices. And there are some of you who are watching here right now who I know are saying, I wish I was further along and I should be further along and I should have done more. But you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you can get anywhere you want to be. You just need to make the choices that will get you there, and you need to have the fucking confidence to do it, because as much as I can stand here on camera or I can stand on stage and I can act like I am that girl who has got it all together, you guys, I am just like you. I suffer from the imposter syndrome just as bad, and I compare myself and I look and I wonder, and I've taken on clients that I'm like, so far out of my comfort zone. Like, how am I going to help these people? But you know what? I do, because in reality, I'm still really good at what I do. And even if it's outside my comfort zone, I'm going to do a good job for them. I'm going to be there to help them. And that's something that I've had to help build myself in that confidence. Edie said, imposter? Me? Oh, no, never, never. Tanya said, yep, that's me, and you've told me to step into my fierceness many times. I have. I wasn't going to call you out. I'm not going to call any of you out, but girl, I'm talking to you. Hey, Stephanie Lou said, get that fucking confidence. Genealogy Girl Talks, hello. Salsanista is here as well. Hey, Stephanie said, you go get yours. With the clappy hands. Ken Watson said, my imposter syndrome has been sent to jail and locked up. I love it. And that's the thing, you guys, we all do it. It's perfectly normal, but I want you to recognize when you're doing it. I want you, Ken, you're hilarious. Oh my God. Ken just said, be the guacamole. Have you guys seen that meme that's going around and it says, you're not the free salsa, you're the guacamole, and, have people treat you like you're guacamole? It's hilarious. I totally just butchered the whole meme, but that's basically the gist of it. Be the guacamole. But yeah, so it's one of those things where, again, you guys are not any different than anybody else because you have imposter syndrome. We all have it, but I want you to look at what you do and what you have to offer. And if it means putting it on paper, if it means putting it on a vision board, if it means putting it on a sticky note on your freaking computer, do the things that mean something to you, that remind you that you are good enough, that remind you that you're where you need to be, that you're the smartest person on that topic, or that you are the best person to share that analogy, that story, those sorts of things, because it really is something that only you can do what you do. Other people may work in the same space. Stephanie had mentioned here earlier, she said, I love to support all the live streamers, and she does. They're all live streamers. They all do the same thing. There's other people who teach Instagram. Guess what? I refer them to go speak at Social Media Marketing World. They ask me every year, what other Instagram speakers should come speak? And I'm literally giving my advice on the other speakers that I think should come speak on the same topic that I teach. Because there's room enough for all of us. And it's about helping other people. It's about empowering other people and realizing that when you surround yourself with other people who can help you, you're better off for it. All right, that was a bit of a rant. Okay. Tanya was saying, LOL, so extra. Ken said, close enough, girl. I know, it was close enough. If I had them even in front of me, it would be funnier, but whatever. I butchered it, but be the guacamole. Hey, Stephanie Lou said, collaboration versus competition. Absolutely. And so for those of you, a few years back, Sue Zimmerman, who's literally at the Instagram expert, she and I partnered on a couple things, and we literally said, collaboration, not competition, because we literally work in the same space. We have two completely different audiences. We have some crossover, but Sue has her audience. I have my audience. And we were like, we can come together and combine our audiences and make that much more money and do that much more and share that much more knowledge and do all the things by working together and combining our audience, because we're not in competition. The people who want to work with Sue don't necessarily want to work with me, and vice versa. We have different teaching styles. We have different personalities, and who she attracts is not necessarily who I attract, and that's totally okay, but we can work together and actually provide more value. My girl, the digital gal, Amanda Robinson, is in the house. We're going to be connecting later because she got me hooked up today, you guys. Seriously, the digital gal, she's one of those, girl, I'm going to throw you under the bus, okay? So be ready for this. Ask Evie said, just because someone else does business efficiency, because Evie does business efficiency, said they won't have the German craziness. Not everyone can take German crazy. It's enough for all of us. Absolutely. Hey, Stephanie said, different flavors. Everyone say, oh my God, I can't scroll on this phone today. Stop. Oh my God, this is so annoying, you guys. I seriously can't scroll. Okay, so the digital gal, Amanda. I was talking about you earlier, but I didn't throw you under the bus, but now I'm going to throw you under the bus. So we've been talking about imposter syndrome, for those of you who tuned in late. And I was mentioning how we went to the dinner and there was somebody at the table who I was saying how she's super smart and she's super talented and she's incredibly aware and she's so good at what she does, but she doesn't necessarily have the confidence in herself to really embrace that. And that was my girl. That was Amanda, the digital gal. And she's you guys, she's way smarter than me in some things. In some things, I'm way smarter than her because that's where our strengths are. That's where we focus. She is legit, like when it comes to ads and when it comes to all the techie stuff, she is my smart person. Like I literally just make her do the things. So today I paid her to do the things. I was like, I need this done. You know how to make all these things work. I don't even want to look at it. I just want to see the finished product. And so she's doing all the things, making all the things work in the background so that all the things work for me because I don't want to do it. I don't want to figure it out. I don't want to learn it. And she's seriously one of the smartest people I know when it comes to these things. And so these are the types of things where it's like, so Ask Evie said she's a freaking smart ass. Digital Gal said, it's true. I definitely need to up my self-confidence game. And this is the whole thing, about the comparison game. And we look at the people around us who have done more or are doing more or have, achieved different levels. And it's like, we just need to take ownership of what we are, who we are, what we do, and what we do well, and embrace that. And with that, you guys, I'm going to go here. You need to charge for that shit, okay? Because you are smart enough, you are good enough, and you damn well deserve to be paid enough for it. And I'm talking to a select few of you in the group who I know this is an issue right now who are watching. And those of you who are probably watching that don't realize this. But seriously, you need to be charging what you're worth. And I am so guilty of this. I have done this in the past. I've lowballed my prices. I've done shit for free. I'm like, oh, I'm not good enough to charge that amount. I'm not good enough to do this. I'm not good enough to have those clients. I'm not good enough for, someone to pay me that much money. You are fucking good enough and you are smart enough to charge that money. I'm not saying to go out and charge $100,000 if you literally just learned how to do a YouTube ad and you want to sell YouTube ads. But if you've been doing something, if this is a craft, if this is something you are actually really good at, you should be charging fair market value for that service. That does not mean underselling. It does not mean overselling. It means selling your value. So if your value is $300 an hour, charge $300 an hour and be clear about that. I put that right there on my website. Some people tell me to take it off. I said, no, I charge $195 an hour. End of story. It's not for negotiation. It's not for debate. That's my rate. Either you accept it or you don't. And it took me a while to be able to confidently say, I charge $195 an hour. People tell me to raise the rate. I may raise the rate at some point, but right now, that is my rate, and I'm happy with that rate. I could charge more, I could charge less, but that is what I charge, and I have no wavering on that. I don't discount that. And like, you want an hour of my time, that's what it's going to cost you. And you need to get that confidence to be able to say that, because when you walk into your client and you say, this is what I charge, end of discussion. They may want to negotiate. This is what I charge. If you want to pay less money, you get less services. Because that is what you are worth. And part of the imposter syndrome is not believing you are worth. It's when you go in there and you're like, well, I know they're a little tight on their budget and, I could really use the money and, I'll knock off 20% and we all come out winners. No, you don't come out a winner, because now you're going to do twice as much work for less money, because they're going to take advantage of you because you discounted your rate and you're not going to get the value out of it. So if you're going to take down the rate, you take down the services. That is how that works. And trust me, I'm still learning that myself. I'm not always perfect. I make mistakes. It's all good. Toronto Doc Walking said Amanda is a rock star. She's a total rock star. Amanda's amazing. Ask Evie said, by the way, Digital Gal, I need a call with you. And she doesn't want to do the ads. Absolutely. Genealogy Girl Talk said, I love when you go there. Good. I love when you love that I go there? Evie said, you are good enough to be flown to Australia as a keynote, and you are awesome. Yes, I am awesome. Tron Docking said it needs to be higher. See, she's the only one who thinks my rate need to be higher, and it will go up. So just so you guys know, I did change other rates. I changed the way, so I had a lot of a la carte services, and instead of doing a la carte, I started offering package type things. So it's more of a commitment package. And because of that, I'm taking on higher level long-term clients. I'm not actually taking any on any new clients right now. I have 2 clients going right now for 3 and 6 month commitments. And so I'm choosing to focus on those, which is why I'm not really changing my hourly rate, because right now that's not something I'm really focusing on. And if someone does want an hour of my time and I can fit into my calendar, I'm good with that. But as my model shifts, and in the future, that rate will most likely go up. But for right now, that's where I decided to put my focus on other revenue streams for the business. So I'm like, you know what? I'm cool with that rate being the way that it is. And yes, that's me opening up the kimono, because I'm going to tell you, I show people my analytics. I'm like, fine, here, you can see what I do. I'm fine with that. I am Donna Queen said, yes, you are on fire. # charge your worth. Tanya said, when the vet tells you it's going to cost $5,000 to fix your dog, we don't question their expertise. Same with charging for our own services. Absolutely. And this is that thing, like there's always a meme going around about this too. Like, just because I did the job in 30 minutes doesn't mean you're paying me for 30 minutes. You're paying me for the 20 years of experience I have to be able to do the job in 30 minutes. And, same thing. If you call up a lawyer and you want their services, they're going to bill you by the hour, and they're going to put you on a fat retainer, and you don't get to be like, oh, can I do that half price? No. So start treating yourself like the way you pay other people. Like, you don't get to discount. You don't go to the grocery store and decide, can I get that milk half price? I don't really need that much milk, but I don't want the little one. I want the full size one, but I want to pay the full price. No, motherfuckers, you pay the damn full price. And your customers should pay your full price. The digital gal said, Jen, you're freaking amazing. Ken's leaving us for dinner. Hey, Stephanie, so the rate just went up, Mitches. Right? All of a sudden we get off the phone. All of a sudden, all the rates are going to change. Arball Diva has joined us as well. The digital gal said, yeah, but your analytics are phenomenal. # best in class. Thank you. But so on that note, you guys, this is actually something that the digital gal that Amanda and I did recently. So she was out here in San Diego for Marketing World, and she stayed with me for a little bit. And we actually went out one night, and she posted an Instagram story, and like literally a minute later, so she tagged me and I shared it to my Instagram story. We have vastly different audience sizes. And we did a comparison to see how many views and comments and interactions, like direct messages, she would get versus how many I would get. And I warned her. I said, mine are not going to be that high. I don't get a ton of engagement in my Instagram stories. This is something I'm working on. It's okay. But I know I don't get a lot of engagement in my Instagram stories. And I mean, I probably average 200 to 300 views on a story. Amanda, with a fraction of my audience size, gets about 200 views on a story. So she's looking at her numbers being like, well, I don't know. I'm like, girl, like we have the same number of views, and she has a ton of comments and interactions with her audience. And I shared the exact same thing and got a fraction of the comments and reactions. So I'm like, when you look at that, like her audience is much more dedicated. It's much more interactive. Not saying mine's not, but my audience isn't normally looking for me in Instagram stories. I haven't built my platform there. I've built my platform in other locations. So I don't have that level of interaction. I can get a ton of engagement. I can do a live show. I can go regular Instagram posts and get 500 likes. I can do all the other things that, are going to get me some engagement. Instagram stories aren't necessarily my heavy hitter. Steph, I love you. She goes, only 200 to 300 views on his story. She said, girl, stop. I have 18,000 followers. 200 views on 18,000 followers is not that amazing. It's not that great of a ratio. I'm going to pull up a freaking my calculator right now. So if I have 200 views divided by 18,000, that's 1%. 1%. That is not amazing. Amanda, on the other hand, I can't remember how many followers you have. If you have 200 views, and let's say you had 1,500 followers, 13%. So That's drastic. 13% versus 1% engagement. That's just views. It doesn't even count in all the things. That's drastically different. And this is where comparison syndrome falls flat on your face, because everyone's looking at me and going, wow, she has 18,000 followers. She must be doing all of this. I'm doing great. I'm happy with where I'm at. I don't have any complaints. But you look at Amanda, who has only 1,500 followers, but she's getting the same number of views and way more engagement on her stories than I am. So really, who's more successful? I would say Amanda. And I told her that, and we literally took screenshots of our analytics because I can use them in a presentation. She can use them in a presentation. She can use them when she wants to work with an influencer and say, look, here's like somebody that has the numbers that you want to have, and she doesn't have nearly the same levels of engagement as Amanda does with her existing audience. So these are things that is why comparison syndrome and the imposter syndrome is detrimental to your business, because you look at these things and you go, oh, I should be doing this, or I should have that, or they're doing all of these things. But if you don't get in there and see the numbers behind it, you don't really know how successful they are. You don't really know what these people are succeeding at. And half of it, they're faking their way through just as much as you are. Okay, that was a rant. Okay, so Evie said, yeah, every month when reporting rolls around, I wish I had Jen's blog engagement. You guys, seriously, it's so embarrassing. I have crazy good blog engagement, and I haven't posted a blog in like 3 months. It's actually, I have so many things that I have to like just publish. I just need to put them in there, and I just even haven't done it. And I know, I get at least 2,000 hits a day on my website. I get probably, what's that, 2,000 times 30? Nope. That's wrong. 2,000 times 30, 60,000, at least 60,000 hits a month on my website, and I haven't posted in 3 months. I know. I'll open the kimono. I'll tell you what I'm doing. But that's the thing. I've built my blog audience. I get a ton of traffic, and that works for me. That absolutely works. But guess what? My email audience, I cleared out my email list when GDPR came out. Cleared it out. I went down to 800 people on my list. 800. So you look at all this traffic that I have, and I've granted now I'm starting to build up the list again, but you look at all the traffic I had and you're like, oh, well, she must be doing it. But I had 800 people on my email list because after GDPR, I was like, you know what? If you don't want to be here, I'm kicking you off. And I sent out the emails. I said, if you want to stay, you have to click on the button, regardless of where they lived. I didn't care. You had to click on the damn button. And if they didn't click, I cleared them out, dumped thousands of people because I was like, nope, don't care anymore. And I'm focusing on what matters to me and the people who are going to read the emails and do the things that I want them to do. We're so far back in the comments. Tanya's saying, LOL, pay the damn full price. Genealogy Girl Talk said, so many truth bombs being dropped tonight. Michael Phillips said, thank you for the pricing insights. Trudy Callan has joined us as well. Ask Evie said she's happy if she gets 30-ish views on her stories. But she did. She got a hashtag that actually got one of her stories well into the hundreds of views. So she got like triple, quadruple what she would normally get by using hashtags, which is why hashtags work. Just saying. Hey, Stephanie said, only 18,000 followers. Stephanie, I freaking love you. Cry me a river, girl. I will cry you all damn day. The digital gal said 1,100. So I was doing that estimate at 1,500. She actually has 1,100 followers. So her engagement rate is even higher than 13% that I just calculated. Hey, Stephanie goes, she's just straight out busted out a calculator, y'all. Let me calculate this shit right now. Yes, I will literally bust out the calculator. I geek out over this stuff. Evie said, I'm so laughing my ass off right now. Tanya said, Steph, I'm busting a gut at your comments. This is why you all need to know Stephanie, because this is like literally what my life is like. I hang out with Stephanie, and she's literally like this all the time. She is hilarious. The digital gal said, and I had imposter syndrome on being a digital marketer with such a low following. And that's to what I was just talking about, where it's easy for, Amanda to sit here and be like, oh, well, I can't be an influencer. I can't be somebody that works with brands. And how can I position myself as a digital marketer and be successful when I have such a low following? Because nobody really gives a shit. And if people give a shit, you guys, seriously, I'm gonna pull this back on me because I can give you all my old world life examples. I have been challenged multiple times on my audience size when I speak at conferences. And to Steph's point, I have only 18,000 followers. And they're like, well, people are going to be coming to the conference that have hundreds of thousands of followers. So why should they listen to you? And I have to defend the fact that I only have 18,000 followers, just like I started speaking on stages with only 3,000 followers. And I had to work my way up, and I had to prove to people that I was worthy to be on that stage with only 5,000 followers. And why should they listen to me? It's really not about the follower count, you guys. It's about what you do with that follower count. And I'm not out here trying to get 100,000 followers on Instagram. I don't really care. I want the 18,000 people who are following now to actually see my content. But I have a lot of casual followers, and I know that because they'll find me at a conference or on a podcast, and they follow me, but they don't go to Instagram all the time, so they're not going to see my content all the time. That's okay. I will continue to talk to people who show up and who are regularly there. But you can absolutely be successful with whatever your audience size is. It's not about that freaking number. It's about what you do with that number. Toronto Dog Walking said, I'm dying, Steph. You need to attend all future lives. Mandatory attendance. Yes, right? Steph needs to be here. She adds so much to the conversation. Hey, Stephanie said, seriously, who has a calculator on their desk? I use one on my phone. Girl, I don't have one on my desk. I got my computer open. And I just hit the computer or the calculator button on my keyboard, and it popped up the calculator on my computer. I don't actually have a calculator. It's not 1992. It's just my computer. Oh my God, you're so hilarious, though. Okay. Rudy Marcana has joined us as well. Brie Palmer said, love it, and she's laughing. Digital Gal said, #Jenn rant equals the best. Brie Palmer said, you can only compare yourself to yourself. Yes, legitimately. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier, you guys, where you really, you can compare yourself to where you were yesterday. You can compare yourself to where you were last month, last year, 3 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it is. The only person you need to compare yourself to is you. And are you better than you were then? Have you grown? Have you made more money? Have you been more successful? Have you hit more stages? Have you landed more clients? Have you built your business? Are you happier? Whatever your metric of success is, that's what you're comparing. Don't look at everybody else. We've got, Pam, for example, is Toronto Dog Walking. So she's in the dog walking, pet sitting, pet grooming type industry. She could compare herself all day. Now, first of all, she's extremely successful. So people are probably comparing themselves to her, just saying. But she could play that comparison game all day and look and say, well, they have more clients, or they're making more money, or they've hired more staff, or they're growing faster. But all of that is irrelevant because you're not living those life choices. You're living your life choices. And as long as you're doing better and growing every single day, you are successful. And that is what matters. And that is why the whole imposter syndrome and comparison syndrome is, again, detrimental, because all you're going to do is make yourself feel bad. Or if you're like, oh, well, I'm doing so much better than them, then help them. Why do you have to be so much better than them? Why can't you be one of those things we talked about at the beginning of the show where you collaborate with those people and you offer a way to help them? Because I guarantee you, they can help you too. Evie said, email me those posts. I got to format them. But yeah, I know. I literally just need to upload them. Hey, Stephanie said, OMG, did you see my question? Is that a new feature? What question? I didn't see a question. Rudy Marcana said, oh, there's questions. Oh, there's questions. Where did the questions come from? Oh my God, this is so crazy. I'm going to push the questions button. Okay. There's questions. Is that really a calculator? I didn't really know. And so I could actually, let me see. Can I put that on screen? Is that really a calculator? See, questions are on the screen. See, so that actually came out a little while ago. I've just never actually used it because no one's ever posed a question that I've actually shared on the screen. I'm totally going to take advantage of this going forward. All right, you guys, here, literally, I'm going to show you behind the scenes. Here we go. You want to see it? There's my light. Look, there's my calculator. There it is. See, right there on the screen. That's what I was working with. Really fun, I know. All right, there we go. Back to me. All right. All right, get rid of that. That's hilarious. Okay. Oh my goodness, this scrolling is so annoying tonight. Rudy Marcana said, regards from Guatemala. I'm the guy who gave you the bracelet. Oh, Rudy, hi. So my daughter took it and it's in her room, but I did have it in here. And he actually made me this really awesome bracelet that actually had #social media or #SMMW19 on it that he gave me after my session. That's all. My daughter loves it, by the way, which is why it's in her room. Michael Phillips said, thank you for your awesomeness or your openness. Could be awesomeness too. Toronto Dog Walking says, Steph, Jen has to share it, which obviously I just did. GDPR, aka #by Felicia. SF Hilltop Stay is here as well, saying you missed the majority of it. Yes, come back and catch the live replay. Poppy Loft has joined us. Bree said, I love this. Hey, Stephanie said, you are worthy. Oh my God, seriously, the scrolling is like not loving me today, you guys. It's really annoying. SF Hilltop said, I am not casual. Hashtag Jen Daraj. Jen and Two Worlds. Arg, I missed it. So we are kind of coming up on the wrapping this up, but you can come back and watch the replay. And it's also going to be on YouTube as soon as we end the broadcast. So you guys can come back and watch the intro. There was no like real like purpose to like this wasn't tactical. This wasn't like a normal webinar style. This was just us talking tonight about imposter syndrome and all of these things, and just sharing some of like my real life examples with you, opening up that kimono, so to speak, and sharing that stuff with you and letting you know like the whole imposter syndrome, like we all suffer from it. Stephanie listen, OMG, fax me the numbers on your calculator. Dude, we were legitimately talking about faxes today. Like I had a meeting at work and we were talking about like going paperless and all these things. And I was like, we still have a fax machine at the day job because for some god awful reason, I'm like, the crazy thing is one of the things we still get, which this is shocking to me, is people still fax us menus. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is so 1995. Like, remember when people used to fax menus, especially when you worked in like a business industry, like complex, and like the local deli would fax their menu to all of the businesses in the industry. So you could go over there and get like your special that day for lunch. Somebody still sends us a menu via our fax machine at work. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, 1995 is calling and they want their fax machine back. It's not even funny. George finally showed up. George, you missed it all. You missed everything, George. You missed it. See, George gets it. OMG, it's Stephanie Lou. He said he had a long day. He earned his dinner tonight. Michael Phillips said a metric of success. Hey, Stephanie said George better be wearing his Gentarage jacket. Janet Two Worlds said, I don't know. It's hard for me. My niche is not friendly or united. So, Jana, tell me where I know I have like tons of comments to still catch up to, but tell me what industry you're in. And it doesn't have to be somebody in your industry that you partner with. It could be somebody outside your industry that aligns with either, your business model or your growth. So it could be finding a mastermind of people that aren't even in your industry, but that are at a similar level or that have other ways that they can help you. So depending on what you do, if you're doing the marketing side of it, you may want to talk to somebody who is really good at the business side, like the money side, the accounting side, and you can give them tips and advice on marketing, and they can give you tips and advice on, business models and tips and advice on, how to better align your expenses and your revenue tracking and all these sorts of things. So it doesn't have to be that you partner with somebody specifically in your industry. It can be partnering with other people who are smarter than you at other things that make you better at what you do. And then you can help them be smarter and better at what they do as well. George Demana says, I always wear it. I wear it to sleep. That's amazing. Mr. Insta Guy is here as well. Oh my God, everybody is dying. I love it. J to the X2. Hello. It's good to see you as well. Asking, said, totally taking screenshots if you need. Digital Gal said she just dropped a question. Oh my God, it's all these questions. You guys are like blowing up the question. This is amazing. Okay, this is hilarious. And I'm dying right now. Okay. So Brie, I'm actually going to get to yours because you're amazing. So the Digital Gal said, wait until you were around on the questions here too. Oh my God, I seriously can't keep up with the scrolling. The Digital Gal asked, who's your favorite Canadian, Amanda or Small Dog? So I'm gonna go legit. It's Amanda. I love my Amanda. But Small Dog is like, there's like Amanda and there's like Small Dog. Like he's really close, but because you wear all my clothes and we hang out and do all the things that we do, you're a little bit higher. I'll give you a smidge. Love you. Hey, Stephanie said she took screenshots too. Blue Mountain Lifestyles is here. Tanya said, LOL, I have an old fax machine in my closet. Digital Gal, step 1, take the fax machine to a field. Step 2, take a baseball bat to it. Office Space style. Stephanie Lou said, I guess the new version of faxing would be airdropping your menu. Legit. How cool would that be? You just started but you know what? Somebody did that at the conference at Social Media Marketing World. Who was that? George, was that you? Or was it Azriel? I think it was Azriel. And somebody airdropped basically a business card and was like, hey, if you need video services while you're here at the conference, we're here to help. And it was the most random thing. It totally airdropped in and just came out of nowhere. And I was like, that's a little invasive. It's kind of cool, but in the same turn, you're kind of oh, that's a little much. Naked Mobile, hello. Good to see you showing up in the house as well. Caitlin is here. Digital Gal said, ha, I love you, girl. Tanya said, no, wait, Tanya is your fave Canadian. Bree said, I mean, I'm a little heartbroken. George said he's his Android. Okay, so it wasn't you. And so we've upset all the Canadians in the room. I know I've got Pam, I've got Tanya, I've got Bree, I got all these Canadians. But she only gave me 2 options. She said Amanda or Small Dog. She didn't make me pick between all of you. I had to pick between the 2 of them. All right, questions. More questions are coming in. Okay, I'm actually going to get to Bree because Bree asked a real question, unlike all you amazing people who just ask all the fun questions. So Bree asked, what do you do? And Jonathan Christian is over here on YouTube saying he's Canadian and he's watching on YouTube. All my Canadians, like there's probably more Canadians watching tonight's show than there are Americans. So high five to all my Canadians. I'm just saying. Stephanie had said airdropping food is pre-approved. Okay, so Bree Palmer asked a real question. She said, what do you do when you find yourself comparing or feeling imposter syndrome? Bree, that is a really good question because this is something, like I said, that I actually deal with. So one thing I do is I do take that moment to remind myself, like we talked about at the top of the show and said, you know, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And so when I start having that comparison syndrome, I try to take a step back and say, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this person? How can I apply this rather than comparing, rather than, you know, looking at something from a negative perspective? How can I flip it into a positive? What can I learn from this person? How can I use this to my advantage in some way? How can we, you know, whether it's collaborate or that sort of thing. Now, the imposter syndrome, the fake it till you make it, sometimes you just got to fake it till you make it. And like I said, I've taken on clients where I'm literally like, okay, yeah, I can do that. And I'm uncomfortable and I'm hesitant and I don't really know if I can pull it off. But I know when saying yes, I will be able to figure it out. I will be able to find the resources that I need. And sometimes it's having that confidence to say yes. Now, there are times where I know I'm not the right person for the job. There are times where I know that's not a right fit. And I will say, I have some referrals I can send your way. I have somebody that is going to be a better fit to serve you. But if I feel like a little like, oh, I'm outside my comfort zone, but I could maybe pull this off. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Like I mentioned earlier in the show about, you know, that dinner and all these people wanting to get together and basically do a mastermind and open up the, you know, the books and kind of show how, you know, how we make our money and what our business models are. That was full blown imposter syndrome. That was full, I don't belong here. What are they going to learn from me? They make way more money than I do. But in the same turn, I was like, yes, I will be there. And then I'm like, then I try to like rationalize myself. Okay, how can I come in prepared so I don't feel like the imposter? And here's the side note, you guys, when I do that, because I will come in and I'll feel like I'm totally the imposter and I go in so prepared, I actually end up being the most prepared one in the room because I over prepared. I did a bunch of extra things. I went and researched and I came in with data and things to support it and all these sorts of things that then when everyone else shows up and they're like, oh, okay, hey, we're here because they feel like they belong. I'm the one showing up and all of a sudden I've got all this extra information. I've got all these extra things to help with. I went above and beyond their level of expectation. And now I look more than like I need to be there at all. Like, I'm like, I totally fit in. This is great. So it's absolutely something that, you know, you kind of have to work on. You absolutely have to, you know, get that confidence up. But sometimes it's just being real about the situation and knowing what your level of comfort is with it. And then push yourself and do that bit extra, put in that extra effort, and it will actually, you know, be rewarding for you. Okay, so I'm going to take, oh, so annoying. I want to try to get, sorry, you guys, I would really want to get a quick screenshot of this without turning off that. That's the screenshot I get. All right, let's try this one more time. I'm going to do a quick screenshot because I have the... Okay, I think that one actually worked. Okay, you guys, seriously, this is ridiculous. I'm trying to take screenshots and I'm like shutting off my phone. Okay, so George is leaving us. He said he's leaving us, and then he leaves a question or comment. He said, "Do you want to talk about imposter syndrome? I just started an agency. I got 2 clients, and all of a sudden, Jenn Herman wanted to hang out with me." This is true because we met last year at Social Media Marketing World. That's absolutely true. He got to hang out with. He met Tyler Anderson. He was hanging out with me. He was hanging out with, you know, all these people. He met Mike Stelzner, who runs Social Media Examiner and runs the conference. And he was totally outside of his element. He was hanging out with all the speakers and he literally had just showed up on the scene. So he felt completely out of place, but we literally are all friends and he still talks to all of us. So it's absolutely something where you need to take that leap of faith. You need to just trust yourself, roll with it, and kind of figure out what happens. Blogging Brute. Hello, Mr. Alton. Kay Sherwood is here as well. Tron Docking saying she's got the screenshots. Stephanie, I actually did eat shrimp for dinner. Bree said that's a phenomenal answer. Thank you. I'm so glad because I was like, I'm trying to watch all the questions and watch all this coming. I'm glad you appreciated the answer. Did she screenshot shrimp? No, I did not screenshot shrimp. So if you want to grab that shit, you better grab that because I did not screenshot the shrimp. OMG, it's Mike Alton! Stephanie said, great answer. Just sit by Jenn and you'll meet everyone. This is actually true. This is legitimately that's at social media marketing world. I'm I will introduce everybody to everybody. Even if I don't know the people, I'll be like, hey, do you want to meet so-and-so? Great. I'll introduce people. It's just what I do. George Demanis, you're hilarious. He said, I'm Brexiting, meaning he said he's leaving, but he's still there. Blogging Brute said he's always driving this time. I know, it's all good. Okay, so we had a couple other questions. George, you're so silly. So George literally said, how cool is George Demanis? Tanya said, holy crap, I have it. Ooh, is there anything? Okay. I'm is this a good enough screenshot? I'm going to take this screenshot too. So there we go. Grab that one. All right. So I can actually talk about this. Maybe I'll do this as an, what shoes are you wearing? Okay. I'll put that one up. What shoes are you wearing? I'm not wearing any shoes. I got home, I put on the sweatpants. I'm still in the blazer and the blouse, but I'm rocking the sweatpants on the bottom and I'm totally barefoot because I'm home. But today I was wearing my white and gold Michael Kors. So yeah, that's what I was wearing. All right, you guys, we're going to have to wrap this up. Tanya says that's how she met Steph as well. Hashtag fangirl moment. And yeah, literally. And J to the X2 said, jennisthebomb.com. Girl, I love you. Thank you so much. Hey, Stephanie said, I love the question feature. I do too. And I noticed it, I don't know, a while back, but I never really did it. And I never saw anybody type a question there. So now that I know it's there, I'm totally taking advantage of this. This is actually really fun. Okay. So we do have to wrap it up because we're coming up on the hour and I will get kicked off. But you guys, I love you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for letting me ramble on about imposter syndrome. I hope it, gave you guys some insight and made you feel better about things, realizing that we all do this. We all compare ourselves. We all feel like we don't belong sometimes. We all feel out of place. It's just absolutely, it's real. It's something we all deal with. Like I said, I still deal with it all the time. I just dealt with it at Marketing World. I saw lots of other people dealing with it at Marketing World. So it's very real, but it's okay to feel that way. It's just how you choose to move forward with it when you realize it's happening. Toronto Dog Walking said, Jenn had a serious crew when I fanned out on her at Steph's session. So we were literally at Steph's session when Pam came up and talked to me. And that's just how I roll. It's literally hashtag Jentourage. It's literally I have my crew and I love it. And it's amazing. You guys, seriously, that makes me happy when I get to introduce people. And anybody who's been with me at Marketing World knows this. I literally am we'll be talking, you and I are having a conversation and somebody walks up and I'll be like, oh, by the way, this is George. And then, we're introducing and it's someone else walks up. I'm like, oh, by the way, okay, so this is George. And so it's I hate when people come into a group and you don't know who people are. And so I've introduced people 4 times to the same people. I'm like, hey, have you met so-and-so? They're like, yeah, you introduced us last night. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I just introduced you again. Because I just want people to feel welcome and invited. And I want people to make those connections. Marketing World for me is that environment. And any event, any chance to network is that opportunity. And you never know where those connections will take you. So I will absolutely, you come hang out with me, you will meet all the people. So come to MDMC, which is in 2 weeks in St. Louis, if you can make it there. Then I will introduce you to everybody there. If you're in Australia, even though we have all the Canadians in the house, which I don't have any Canadian. So if anybody knows any of the Canadian conferences, anything going on that needs a speaker, feel free to share that out because I would love to come back home to Canada and speak. I'm just saying, it'd be great, but I don't have any Canadian events lined up. So, but I'll be in Australia in June. So if you're going to be there, come hang out at State of Social with me in Perth. Come hang out. It'll be amazing. I'll introduce you to everybody. All right. Questions before we hang up. So Evie said, I'll never forget when Tanya met Kim Garst, which was the cutest thing ever when that happened. Brie Palmer said, love you more. Thanks for being amazing. As always, Erica Beach tuned in. Jonathan Christian mentioned social media camp. Long story, won't be speaking there. I'm not going to say anything publicly. Jonathan, you could message me privately. But I'm done. If they want to reach out to me and they want me to speak and they're willing to cover it, cool. I'm happy to talk to them. But at this point, Social Media Camp is pretty much the only social media conference, and I will not be there anytime soon. Tanya said, OMG, it's Kim Karst. Stephanie said, I still fangirl at Jenn. She glows in real life, y'all. I love you. I love you. And they all love being part of the Jentourage. I love all of you. You guys are seriously amazing. I'm so glad all of you are coming. J to the X2 said, social media boot camp. What's social media boot camp? Where's that? Because there's social media camp, which is in Victoria. Are you thinking about that one, or social media boot camp something else? Because I totally want to know. Bree Palmer said, I never even know what's going on in Canada. I'm Donna Queen said, thanks, Jen. I'm new to this world and have tons to learn. Appreciate you and all the rock stars here. Girl, hang out here. We're here every other Wednesday. What you're seeing tonight is what happens every week. It's like a whole lot of crazy going on. Usually I'm much more tactical and more webinar style, where I actually like give you things you can learn and actually apply. J to the X2 said Connex in Toronto. I will look into that one. Connex in Toronto. And hey, Stephanie said, rate just went up. And J to the X2 said, oh yeah, that one. Yeah. So SM Camp is not one that I will, I've tried to speak there a couple times and it hasn't worked out. So I won't be applying again. And Jonathan said he runs social media boot camp. So there's a crossover going on in here, but I'm going to look into the Connex in Toronto. I'm totally going to look into that one. It doesn't have to be a social media conference. I'm open to any conference that just wants to have somebody talk about social media, blogging, Instagram, Facebook. I'd be there. I'm cool. We can just do an industry conference because I love those ones too. And then Social West is in Calgary in June. Yes, that's right. I forgot that there is Social West. I'll have to look into that one too. Okay, great. So you guys, I'm going to wrap it up because Instagram's going to give me the notification here in a matter of seconds, and I'm going to get the Oscar reaped off the stage. So thank you so much for being here. As always, we will be back again in 2 weeks. At that point, I will be at MDMC, so who knows where I will be, but I will see you live at some point from MDMC. And I got 23 seconds, so I'm going to have to sign off. Love you all. I will see you soon. Thank you for being here as always. If I can end the video. I might have to wait for the timer because I cannot end the video. Ending the video. Ending live video. Saving the video. Sharing the video. All right, so Jonathan Christian's still over here. Good to see you again back home. But anyways, again, for those of you who are watching over here on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the show if you want to see more videos, and make sure you go navigate around the channel if you want to catch any more videos about social media, Instagram specifically, and other rants and topics similar to this. And feel free to leave a comment here with any of your experiences when it comes to whether it's imposter syndrome or comparison syndrome and those sorts of things. I would love to hear from you as well. Thank you so much. And we will see you again in 2 weeks live from MDMC. Bye, Jonathan. If I can find my mouse and actually end the live stream. Yee!